The Andromeda sector, once a dazzling nexus of human ingenuity and cosmic ambition, now lay draped in an unsettling gloom. Its neon-lit corridors and vast space stations, once symbols of progress, whispered of forgotten dreams and creeping decay. Orion's beacon, a majestic flagship station, drifted silently against the backdrop of a star-studded void. Its gleaming surfaces bore the marks of relentless time and untold conflict, a silent testament to a past brimming with hope, now overshadowed by uncertainty. Within the labyrinthine halls of Orion's beacon, life pulsed with a mechanical rhythm. Holographic displays flickered intermittently, projecting urgent alerts and fragmented news bulletins that hinted at unseen dangers lurking beyond the station's fortified walls. A persistent hum of activity filled the air, a blend of the station's engineered atmosphere and the subtle tension of a society bracing itself for an impending storm. At one of the station's expansive observation decks, a breathtaking vista unfolded. Swirling nebulae blazed in vibrant hues of violet and crimson, while distant stars shimmered like scattered jewels across a velvet canvas. Yet, beneath this celestial spectacle lay a profound stillness, a silence that spoke of lost battles and ancient grudges, each distant light and shadow whispering stories of both triumph and sorrow. Wandering through the corridors with deliberate grace, a solitary figure moved like a guardian of memories past. The soft glow of emergency luminescence highlighted murals of long-forgotten heroes and epic conquests, images that now served as a bittersweet reminder of a brighter era. In the delicate interplay of light and shadow, the very soul of the sector seemed to murmur tales of resilience and inevitable change. Suddenly, the station's intercom burst to life with a terse, authoritative announcement. All hands, prepare for imminent protocol activation. Report to assigned stations immediately. The message cut through the ambient hum like a laser beam through darkness, instilling a sense of urgency and hinting at the tumult that was about to erupt. It was the sound of a community on the brink, readying itself to face a destiny written among the stars. In that charged moment, with the cosmos as a silent witness, the stage was set for an epic struggle. The Andromeda sector, veiled in shadows yet illuminated by a resilient spirit, awaited the emergence of those brave enough to answer its call. Every flicker of light, every echo in the cold metal corridors, seemed to pulse with the promise of heroes ready to rise and confront the darkness that threatened to engulf the infinite expanse. Deep within the labyrinthine heart of Orion's beacon, the steady hum of duty intermingled with an undercurrent of apprehension. At the helm of the flagship's command center, Commander Nova Steele stood resolute, her eyes fixed on the ever-changing holographic displays that painted the room in hues of shifting blues and amber. Each pulse of light was a silent reminder of the lives entrusted to her, and every alert hinted at the uncertainties of the cosmos beyond. Nova moved with a quiet confidence born of years navigating the treacherous void. Her every step resonated with the weight of responsibility, a duty to uphold the legacy of human resilience amidst a universe that was both magnificent and merciless. The room buzzed with the focused intensity of her crew, each member a vital part of an intricate machine engineered for survival. Conversations in rapid, clipped tones filled the air as technicians and strategists exchanged critical information and tactical updates. In a secluded corner of the bridge, Nova paused before a large viewport that offered a panoramic glimpse into the star-studded expanse. The endless night, punctuated by shimmering clusters of celestial bodies, seemed to whisper secrets of distant worlds and untold adventures. Yet, the beauty of the cosmos was not lost on her. It was a reminder of the boundless potential of humanity and the unyielding spirit that drove them to explore, to challenge the dark, and to seek the light beyond. A sudden surge in the data streams jolted her attention back to the present. An urgent alert flashed across her console, a coded message indicating disturbances at a nearby human outpost. The message, terse and laden with urgency, left little room for doubt. An emerging threat demanded immediate action. Nova's heart quickened, not with fear, but with the fierce determination of a leader prepared to face the unknown. "Steady now," she murmured, her voice a calm counterpoint to the rising tension around her. In that moment, every decision, every calculation, and every risk became a vital part of the intricate tapestry of survival. Nova turned to her senior officer, whose eyes mirrored both concern and unwavering loyalty, and issued orders with deliberate precision. Plans were rapidly laid out, strategies debated in hushed tones, and every crew member was primed to act as one unified force against the encroaching threat. The bridge, usually a theater of calm vigilance, transformed into a crucible of purpose and resolve. Nova's presence radiated authority and a deep-seated empathy, a reminder that beneath the veneer of advanced technology and strategic warfare lay a human heart, steadfast and indomitable. In the midst of cosmic uncertainty, her leadership shone like a beacon, igniting hope and fortifying the spirit of every soul aboard Orion's beacon. As the crew prepared to mobilize, the silent promise of duty echoed in every corner of the command center, a promise to protect, to fight, and to stand as a bulwark against the darkness that threatened to swallow the galaxy whole. In that charged atmosphere, Commander Nova Steel embraced her destiny with unyielding resolve, ready to lead her people into the heart of the coming storm. The serenity of routine shattered like fragile glass under the relentless force of an unseen storm. Far from the relative sanctuary of Orion's beacon, a remote human colony, once a beacon of hope on the fringes of civilized space, succumbed to the sudden, savage onslaught. In the eerie silence of space, the explosion of energy and sound resonated like a death knell, heralding the arrival of an enemy whose presence was as enigmatic as it was ruthless. At the colony's perimeter, structures that had stood as proud symbols of human perseverance trembled under the impact of an unknown weapon. Sparks danced in the vacuum, briefly illuminating the devastation. Amidst the chaos, citizens scrambled for safety as thick plumes of stardust mingled with fragments of shattered dreams. The colony's central square, once a place of communal celebration, transformed in an instant into a battlefield, its surface marred by gaping wounds where hope had once flourished. Far above, in the command center of Orion's beacon, Commander Nova Steel's eyes widened at the incoming data stream. The urgent alerts splashed across her holodisplay left no room for misinterpretation. A coordinated strike had erupted, and the enemy was already deep within human territory. The message was clear. This was no random act of vandalism, but a calculated assault orchestrated with the precision of a seasoned warlord. Status report. Nova barked, her voice cutting through the controlled chaos of the bridge like a clarion call. Her senior officer, Lieutenant Marcos, responded almost immediately, his tone edged with urgency. Colony Epsilon is under heavy attack. Structural integrity compromised. Casualties are mounting. We're detecting energy signatures consistent with advanced plasma weaponry, unlike anything we've seen before. In that instant, time seemed to dilate. The bridge of Orion's beacon buzzed with frantic activity as Nova absorbed every piece of information. The brilliant glow of holographic maps and tactical grids revealed the enemy's swift, surgical strikes, their calculated patterns leaving human defenses shattered in their wake. Nova's mind raced, strategizing a response even as the colony's agonized transmissions etched a stark reminder of the stakes at hand. The attack carried the cold, deliberate cadence of a prelude to war, a message sent not merely in the language of destruction, but in the ominous promise of more to come. As Nova's crew mobilized with disciplined urgency, the weight of responsibility pressed down upon her shoulders. Every command she issued was imbued with a blend of resolve and sorrow, knowing that each moment of delay could spell further tragedy. A somber silence descended briefly over the bridge as the commander allowed herself a fleeting moment to reflect on the fragile nature of their existence. This colony, like so many others scattered across the vast tapestry of space, was a testament to humanity's enduring spirit, a spirit now under siege by an enemy that left no room for mercy. With steely determination, Nova initiated the first phase of their countermeasure protocol. Prepare the fleet for immediate response. We're moving out. This isn't just an attack on a colony. It's an attack on everything we hold dear, she declared, her voice resonating with the conviction of someone who had stared into the abyss and refused to back down. The first strike had marked a turning point. a moment when complacency was shattered and the stark reality of interstellar conflict took hold. In the swirling chaos of battle, the fate of countless lives now hinged on the courage of those willing to rise against the dark tide. And as Orion's beacon surged forward into the void, the echoes of that fateful day would forever remind all who dared to dream of unity and hope in the face of overwhelming despair. The aftermath of the colony's devastation left a bitter residue in the hearts of all who had borne witness. While Orion's beacon limped through the cosmic void, Commander Nova Steel knew that survival demanded more than mere retaliation. It demanded unity. With the enemy's cruelty growing ever bolder, Nova set her course for a distant, neutral space station known as the Confluence, a melting pot where species, cultures, and philosophies converged. As the flagship's engines hummed softly in the vast silence, Nova gathered her most trusted officers in a secure briefing room lined with interactive star maps and encrypted channels. The room pulsed with the soft glow of determination. "We are facing an enemy that does not distinguish between worlds or species," Nova began, her tone both resolute and earnest. "If we are to stand a chance, we must forge alliances with those we once considered strangers. Their strength may be the key to our survival." Across the dimly lit corridors of the Confluence, representatives of alien races stirred from their isolated communities. A holographic invitation, carefully curated by Nova's diplomatic team, had summoned them to this neutral ground. Among the first to arrive was Arlene, a lithe envoy from the Nebulan clans, whose eyes shimmered with ancient wisdom and cautious hope. His voice, soft yet resonant, greeted Nova. "We have heard of your plight, Commander. It is time that our peoples learn the language of trust again." Inside a grand atrium where bioluminescent flora intertwined with sleek crystalline structures, diverse delegates gathered. The atmosphere was charged with a blend of trepidation and tentative optimism. Overhead, the station's expansive dome offered a view of countless stars, each a silent witness to histories of strife and kinship. Nova moved gracefully among the assembly, her presence a unifying force that quieted whispered doubts and ignited sparks of potential collaboration. In a series of impassioned dialogues, the representatives began to share their stories. A veteran pilot from the Martian outposts recounted his narrow escape from the Dominion's clutches, his voice trembling with both anger and relief. An emissary from the Zephyr Collective, once rivals in the cosmic trade routes, spoke of loss and the burden of ancient grievances that now seemed inconsequential in the face of a common enemy. With every word, the dialogue wove a tapestry of shared resilience, drawing a thin but luminous thread of hope through the assembly. Nova listened intently, her mind racing to interlace these disparate narratives into a cohesive strategy. She proposed an ambitious plan, a joint task force that would combine the tactical acumen of human strategists with the unique capabilities of their newfound allies. "Our differences are our strength," she declared, her voice carrying the weight of both command and conviction. "Together, we can forge a defense that no enemy can unravel." In a quiet moment amid the fervor, Nova pulled aside Arlene. "I sense that your people have suffered in silence for too long," she confided. "I ask you, can we truly set aside old wounds to build a future where all our worlds thrive in harmony?" Arlene's eyes met hers, conveying unspoken understanding. "In unity, there is healing. In solidarity, there is strength. Let our shared sorrow birth a new era of trust." As night descended outside the panoramic windows of the Confluence, the once disparate voices coalesced into a single, resonant call, a call to arms and to peace. Tentative alliances were sealed with firm handshakes and solemn promises. The initial friction of old conflicts melted away, replaced by the burning realization that only by standing together could they defy the creeping shadows of the Dominion. In that crucible of diplomacy and shared purpose, the stage was set for an unprecedented coalition. Nova's vision of unity had taken root, and as the delegates departed with cautious optimism, the faint hum of new beginnings echoed through the corridors of the Confluence. A fragile but determined alliance had been born, a beacon of hope to challenge the darkness that threatened to engulf the galaxy. With the fragile alliance forged and the weight of recent loss still heavy upon them, Commander Nova Steel led a select contingent of her most trusted officers into the uncharted territories beyond human-occupied space. The task was clear yet perilous: to infiltrate the enemy's rear lines, uncovering the true extent of their machinations hidden in the abyss. The dim glow of starlight was their only companion as they ventured deeper into regions where the familiar faded into an ominous darkness. Inside a stealth cruiser cloaked in the silence of the void, Nova's thoughts swirled with both determination and a quiet dread. The ship's corridors were bathed in a soft, ambient light, the only indication of life in an environment otherwise consumed by endless black. In a private chamber, Nova studied a series of intercepted communications, a cryptic exchange hinting at secret Dominion installations and unimaginable strategies. Each fragment of data was a piece of a larger, more sinister puzzle. "Captain, we're approaching the coordinates," intoned Lieutenant Ramirez, his voice low and measured over the comm system. The digital map on the control panel revealed an expanse of space where the stars were few and far between, replaced by eerie swaths of dark matter and nebulous clouds. It was a landscape both desolate and foreboding, a perfect stage for clandestine operations. Nova's response was a whisper edged with resolve: "Maintain stealth. We must gather everything we can without alerting them. Every moment here is a gamble with fate." The crew, acutely aware of the risks, moved with the silent precision of seasoned operatives. Their faces, lit by the cold glow of instrument panels, betrayed the inner storm of emotions: fear, hope, and an unyielding commitment to the mission. As they drew closer to the target, the cruiser's sensors detected faint energy signatures that pulsed like the heartbeat of a giant beast lying in wait. The data confirmed their suspicions. Hidden within a cluster of drifting asteroids lay a secret Dominion outpost, its energy readings erratic yet deliberate. Nova's heart pounded in tandem with the rhythmic beeps of the monitoring equipment, each pulse a reminder of the enemy's lurking presence. Navigating through a labyrinth of debris and cosmic shadows, the team deployed a series of reconnaissance drones. Their small, dart-like forms slipped silently past vast, rocky sentinels until one of them transmitted live visuals. The sight that greeted them was chilling: a stark, metallic structure, camouflaged against the void, emanating an aura of cold menace. Within its walls, the Dominion's technology hummed with purpose, hinting at deeper layers of strategy and control. In a hushed command transmitted across secure channels, Nova ordered, "Record every detail. We're not just here to observe, we need to understand their plans. This information may be our only chance to dismantle their operations from within." The significance of their mission pressed down on them, as if the darkness itself sought to smother hope. A quiet tension pervaded the cruiser as Nova retreated to her command chair, her eyes reflecting both the flickering data streams and the weight of imminent confrontation. She exchanged a few terse words with her second-in-command, reaffirming their shared commitment. "We go in as shadows, and we leave as the light. Remember, every secret we uncover is a weapon in our arsenal against the Dominion." In that moment, amidst the silent void and the pulsing hum of alien machinery, Nova felt the dual pull of destiny and duty. Confronting the darkness was not merely a mission. It was an act of defiance against an enemy that thrived on obscurity and fear. With the stealth cruiser as her vessel and determination as her guide, Nova Steel pressed forward into the heart of enemy territory, ready to challenge the darkness with every ounce of human courage. The Allied fleet loomed on the horizon, a diverse armada assembled from the far reaches of the galaxy, a constellation of hope forged from disparate worlds. In the heart of Orion's beacon, deep within its strategic command center, Commander Nova Steel stood before a vast holographic display. The room, alive with the hum of coordinated activity, pulsed with tension as representatives from every allied race prepared for what would become a defining moment. Nova's gaze swept over the display, where tactical grids intermingled with live feeds from distant sensors. The data painted a grim tableau. Dominion forces had amassed near the border of a key human colony, and the enemy's dark armada was advancing with deliberate precision. "Our unity will be our strength," Nova declared, her voice steady and resolute. "Tonight, we stand as one against the tide of tyranny." Across the conference table, alien envoys and human officers exchanged nods and quiet words of reassurance. Among them, Lieutenant Ramirez tapped on his datapad, his eyes narrowing at the latest strategic readouts. "Commander, the Dominion's approach is faster than we anticipated. We have a narrow window to secure the colony and hold the line." His voice carried the weight of both caution and determination. As the briefing progressed, the room vibrated with passionate dialogue, a blend of urgent tactical discussions and the quieter, more personal exchanges that revealed the vulnerabilities and hopes of those gathered. Nova's seasoned diplomat, Arlene, rose to address the assembly, his voice imbued with ancient wisdom. "Let us not allow old grievances to undermine our collective future. Every sacrifice we make tonight is a step toward a galaxy reborn in unity." Yet beneath the veneer of resolute cooperation, an undercurrent of unease persisted. In a discreet conversation between Nova and her trusted aide, Mira, whispers of a potential traitor within the ranks emerged. "There are signs, Commander," Mira confided in a low tone as they reviewed intercepted communications. "Someone is leaking operational details. It might cost us dearly if we proceed without addressing this internal threat." Nova's eyes, usually so calm and determined, flashed with a hint of concern. "Keep a close watch. Every link in our chain must be unbreakable." With plans solidifying and alliances reinforced, the Allied forces mobilized for the impending siege. The fleet's formation shimmered like a living mosaic against the velvet darkness of space, each vessel a vital strand in the web of resistance. As the enemy drew closer, the bridge of Orion's beacon vibrated with a mixture of adrenaline and resolve. "All units, prepare to engage on my mark," Nova ordered, her voice echoing through the corridors of the flagship. The calm before the storm gave way to an orchestrated symphony of clattering consoles, whispered farewells, and determined declarations of duty. Every pilot, soldier, and diplomat knew that the upcoming battle was not solely against a common enemy, but also a test of their newfound unity. As the first salvo of enemy fire streaked across the void, the Allied fleet surged forward. The battle erupted in bursts of dazzling light and shadow, starships weaving intricate patterns in a desperate dance of evasion and counterattack. In the midst of the chaos, Nova's own vessel led the charge, its engines roaring as it plunged into the fray. Inside her command center, Nova maintained constant communication with her officers. "Hold the line. Protect the colony at all costs," she cried, her voice a beacon of hope amid the clamor of battle. Her words, carried by the intercom, resonated with every crew member and ally on board. At the same time, isolated flashes of dialogue revealed the raw human emotions behind the strategic maneuvers. A Martian pilot's fervent plea to save a wounded comrade, an alien engineer's quiet prayer to repair critical systems under fire, and Nova's own solemn vow to never let darkness prevail. Every moment on the battlefield was a testament to the power of unity. Even as enemy fire scarred the hulls of the Allied ships and chaos threatened to splinter their formation, the Allied forces fought with an almost desperate determination, a shared conviction that their combined strengths would defy the oppressive might of the Dominion. Amid the chaos, Nova's mind raced to decipher the puzzle of the traitor. The betrayal, if left unchecked, could undermine the very foundation of their collective effort. She ordered discreet security checks and tightened communications protocols, all while directing the battle with a masterful blend of strategy and raw passion. "Trust is our shield," she reminded herself and her officers, knowing that even a single breach could shatter the fragile unity they had painstakingly built. As the siege raged on, the tide of battle ebbed and flowed like the unpredictable rhythm of a cosmic storm. In one particularly intense exchange, Nova intercepted a direct transmission from a Dominion commander, a taunting message laden with confidence. With measured resolve, she responded with words that reverberated across the void. "We may be many, but we fight as one. Your shadows will not eclipse our light." In that moment, the Allied forces found renewed strength. The battle was not just a clash of firepower, but a struggle for the very soul of the galaxy. A battle where every sacrifice, every act of courage, served as a defiant stand against an enemy intent on tearing apart the tapestry of unity. And so, As the stars bore silent witness to the siege, Commander Nova Steel and her united armada pressed forward into the heart of the fray, their collective spirit igniting a beacon of hope that shone fiercely against the encroaching darkness. The enemy's shadow loomed larger as the Allied fleet converged on the critical human colony, now transformed into a crucible of cosmic conflict. The void pulsed with an almost tangible tension, a prelude to the storm of laser fire, explosive impacts, and desperate courage that was about to unfold. From the bridge of Orion's beacon, Commander Nova Steel surveyed the sprawling battlefield where countless ships, each representing a beacon of hope, danced a perilous ballet against the dark tide of the Dominion. Every display flickered with streams of data, mapping the chaotic interstellar melee in real time. Nova's gaze shifted from the tactical grids to the unfolding drama in the depths of space, a maelstrom of fiery projectiles and shattered hulls. Amid the chaos, a single transmission cut through the static, a taunting message from Exorcall, the relentless warlord behind the Dominion forces. His voice, cold and imperious, resonated through the communication channels. "Surrender your light, Nova. The galaxy shall fall into eternal darkness." For a heartbeat, time seemed to suspend. Then, with the quiet intensity that had come to define her leadership, Nova responded, "Our light is not so easily quenched. Today, we fight not as many, but as one." Her words, filled with unyielding conviction, rippled through every vessel in the fleet, kindling a spark of defiance even as enemy fire ignited the surrounding void. The battle erupted in a cascade of brilliance and despair. Starships weaved intricate patterns of evasion and counterattack, their engines roaring like the pulse of a living beast. Amid this cosmic tempest, Nova's flagship Spear headed the offensive, its streamlined form slicing through enemy ranks as if propelled by the very spirit of humanity itself. Explosions punctuated the silence of space, each one a stark reminder of lives at stake, of a future balanced precariously on the edge of annihilation. Inside her command center, Nova's focus was absolute. Tactical updates flowed relentlessly, punctuated by urgent dialogue. Shields at 20% on the eastern flank. Engaging enemy flagship, requesting backup. Every command was a lifeline, a thread tying her crew together in the maelstrom of battle. Lieutenant Ramirez's steady voice, laced with determination, reported, "We're breaking their formation, Commander. The tide is turning." Amid the relentless barrage, a pivotal moment unfolded. A Dominion dreadnought, massive, dark, and bristling with lethal weaponry, moved into position, threatening to decimate the Allied line. Nova's heart pounded as she recognized the dreadnought's significance. It was the keystone of Exorcall's strategy, a juggernaut whose fall could shatter the enemy's resolve. With a resolute nod, she issued the order that would define the final confrontation. Target the dreadnought. All available units, converge on its coordinates. We must end this threat now. In that moment, space itself seemed to ignite. A coordinated barrage of plasma cannons, torpedoes, and laser beams converged on the massive vessel. The dreadnought shuddered under the concentrated assault, its formidable defenses buckling against the relentless human ingenuity and the raw power of their diverse allies. On the bridge, Nova exchanged a brief, determined glance with Arlene, an unspoken acknowledgement that the culmination of their hopes, fears, and sacrifices rested on this singular, breathtaking charge. The battle reached a fevered pitch as Nova's flagship dove into the heart of enemy formation. In a climactic confrontation, she and Exorcall faced each other across the void, two forces of nature, emblematic of the eternal struggle between light and darkness. Their exchange was brief but searing, a volley of words laden with the weight of destiny and the scars of countless battles. "Your tyranny ends here," Nova declared, her voice echoing like a promise through the chaos. Exorcall's response was a snarl of contempt, but it was drowned out by the roar of defiance that surged from every Allied ship. The Dominion's command structure began to fracture as their dreadnought succumbed to the onslaught. Explosions rocked its massive form, sending shockwaves through the enemy ranks. The Allied forces, emboldened by this turning point, pressed forward with renewed vigor. Every pilot, every soldier, every envoy fought not just for survival, but for the very essence of unity that defined their coalition. As the final, decisive blows rained down on the collapsing enemy fleet, the galaxy seemed to exhale a collective sigh of relief. Amid the ruins of what had once been an insurmountable force, the light of hope blazed brighter than ever. The battle had been fierce and costly, yet in its wake, the promise of a united future began to emerge from the darkness. Commander Nova Steel, standing resolute on the bridge of her flagship, allowed herself a rare moment of quiet reflection. The final battle was over, but its echoes would forever shape the destiny of the Andromeda sector, a legacy of courage, sacrifice, and an unbreakable unity that would guide humanity and its allies toward a new dawn. In the hushed aftermath of the cataclysmic battle, the battered remains of war hung suspended in the void, a silent reminder of both loss and victory. As the Allied fleet drifted through the tranquil expanse, a tentative calm began to settle over the Andromeda sector. The remnants of shattered starships and smoldering debris were intermingled with the soft glow of distant nebulae, creating a mosaic of both despair and hope. Back aboard Orion's beacon, the atmosphere was one of somber reflection and cautious optimism. Commander Nova Steel stood on the observation deck, her eyes tracing the delicate interplay of light and shadow dancing across the ruined battleground. Here, amid the scars of conflict, the resilient spirit of a united galaxy emerged, a beacon of promise that even in the depths of darkness, a new beginning could be kindled. The corridors of the flagship, once abuzz with the frenetic pace of combat, now whispered with the quiet murmurs of recovery. Crew members, human and alien alike, moved purposefully through the halls, tending to the wounded, salvaging what they could, and sharing stories of sacrifice that would forever bind them together. In these quiet moments, the true cost of the war became tangible, a tapestry woven with threads of courage, grief, and enduring solidarity. In a gathering held in the Grand Central Chamber, representatives from all allied races assembled to chart the future. The room, bathed in the soft luminescence of ancient crystalline structures and futuristic holograms, echoed with voices steeped in both melancholy and determination. Nova addressed the assembly with a measured calm, her words carrying the weight of hard-won wisdom. We have stared into the abyss and emerged not unscathed, but unbowed. Today, we honor those we have lost and pledge ourselves to a future where unity triumphs over division, she proclaimed, her voice resonating with a quiet power that transcended language and species. The discussions that followed were a blend of practical strategies and heartfelt promises. Plans for rebuilding war-torn colonies were set into motion, and new treaties were drafted with the understanding that peace required more than just the absence of conflict. It demanded the cultivation of trust, empathy, and mutual respect. As delegates exchanged ideas and signed accords, the vision of a harmonious galaxy grew ever more tangible. Outside, the cosmos continued its eternal dance. Stars that had borne witness to countless eras flickered in silent celebration, as if affirming the promise of renewal. The quiet hum of recovery was punctuated by the distant symphony of shipyards at work and the rhythmic pulse of energy as new vessels were constructed, a testament to the resilience of life and the unyielding pursuit of a better tomorrow. As the chapter of war closed, a new dawn began to rise over the Andromeda sector. The journey ahead would not be without challenges, but the alliances forged in the crucible of battle had laid the foundation for a future defined by cooperation and hope. Nova's gaze returned to the infinite expanse, where the first light of daybreak mingled with the glow of distant suns, heralding the start of an era where every life, every story, contributed to the grand tapestry of a united galaxy. With hearts healed by the strength of unity and eyes fixed on the horizon of endless possibility, the survivors embraced the promise of renewal, a promise that, even in the wake of profound loss, the light of hope would forever shine.